So a friend of mine and I that have always played the division from back in the day when I first started playing on PC and doing YouTube, we kind of just got together. We were farming here in the division 2, getting mods and getting gear to kind of build this character up, and we decided, why don't we jump into the division 1 and just get some of that gameplay and just kind of get some of that experience. And very, very true to what we suspected, we had a bunch of fun because we felt strong, we felt powerful, we felt like we could overcome the obstacles. We went to Piers North to do resistance, and we got to wave 17 and we were like, oh crap, when did we even get to wave 17? And we were just having a good time. I was running a Reclaimer build that was designed to heal and keep him alive, while he was running a Striker build optimized for the max DPS that he could possibly put out. So together, we were just this ginormous force of nature taking on all kinds of NPCs. It's like once we set ourselves down in that hallway, the hallway, it was just like everything that just came at us kept crashing against the wall. And this is the feeling of the power surge that a player who has farmed, invested a lot of time in the game, I feel should be able to enjoy when they've played the game long enough. Now, you may say the Division 1 is still early in its life, and I agree, but it's also too early for the game to be suffering from players feeling weak, which at the same time, I feel like they can always increase, gear level. They can always increase world tiers and all those things down the road to continue to provide a layer of advancement that continues to go. I mean, for crying out loud, they can go all the way to like World Tier 7 if they wanted to, or continue to add, different aspects to the game that make the players feel like they're going to go and achieve something and it's going to make them stronger. And so if you just look at the way Division 1 is so different, the aspect of roles, being able to play a role on your team is very critical. I mean, if you think about it, in this mission is just a 2-man mission, but everybody knew when you were going to Piers North, it was nice to have somebody that would heal, and it was nice to have somebody that would do DPS if you were doing a 2-man run. And you could do that 2-man run, and you can achieve so much just by one person running a healer build. Didn't matter if it was Reclaimer, it could have been a final measure, variation of healer builds, and somebody do a DPS build, and both of you would just run through the mission, enjoy, deal with the obstacles, and just figure out that this is such a good game. In fact, in the resistance run, the RNG was so good. I got 2 houses in that run, and it was crazy. I mean, I got one, it dropped from a boss, and I got one and it was in the chest. And that was something that, in my opinion, I felt like was something that was really good with the Division 1, was they moved the RNG from being extremely difficult to work with to being much more manageable, so that people who wanted to get their gear to be the very best and most refined version of their gear could actually enjoy that. So in a sense, one of the difficulties that I feel like, we have with the entire development philosophy of the Division 2 is that we see the Division 2 as an extension of the Division 1, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're seeing it as, where are these good things that exist in the Division 1 that are not present in the Division 2? And I feel like if the developers wanted to tell us and say, this is actually a brand new game, and we want this game to actually be like this on the onset, and maybe perhaps in the future, maybe they could say so, or maybe not, you guys will feel stronger. Now, one way that they could have communicated that to us was through the lore. They could have easily just said something along the lines of, our technology here in Washington, D.C. has been decimated. It's fallen into the hands of, all kinds of factions. So a lot of the shade tech that you have in New York, you will not be able to acquire them here. You're only going to be able to acquire a limited arsenal of skills and all these things. I feel like that would have really made some sense in regard to the way they communicated the mechanics and the systems to the audience. But instead, we played and got into this game expecting for it to be a true extension of the Division 1, but instead, a lot of those things were taken away. And I think Massive made almost the same mistake that Destiny 2 made when it made all the players feel way powerless at the onset of Destiny 2, instead of making players to continue some kind of a progression or whatever. And I think Destiny even did a good job. They actually attacked the, I don't know what they call it in Destiny, the base of operations. The beginning of the game, they attacked their base, and that even goes to show that, okay, a lot of your equipment, a lot of your whatever has been destroyed or taken over in the attack, and you kind of have to work your way up to go back and free and liberate those things that you own in order to be able to fight the enemy factions and all that. And so, in my opinion, I genuinely think the developers have a very good opportunity here. And that opportunity, I think, is in episode 2 or 3, New York, whatever the episode number is, I can't remember. And I think that is the episode that the developers can genuinely find a way to recoup a lot of the lost time that they've had in the Division 2. The lost time is the time that they could have made serious adjustments, lost time that they could have made, they could have reached out to the community much quicker, and or even in a much more intentional way to be able to see how players can be retained in the game. I mean, unless, they don't really, they're not really concerned about retention. But if they want their game to be relevant, if they want to sell a season pass, if they want to sell a season pass, then they have to make really sure that they are going to deliver exactly what players are asking for. If they have anything under their sleeves that does not line up with what players are asking for, it's going to be a very hard sell. I remember when the Division 1 was in dire straits, and exactly what players were asking for, to the large part, was given to the player base before something new was introduced. And I think that's exactly where the Division 2 is right now. Something needs to be given to the player base, which is exactly what the player base has been asking for, or else it's going to be a hard sell for DLC down the road or whatever. And even more importantly, I have to say this, it's kind of, really strange that, Massive is now wanting to do this ETF now, which I'm going to be skeptical again. But, they also have another game in development that I'm actually curious about. But a lot of the community doesn't seem to be really thrilled by the fact that, Massive is even working on a different game. And somewhat, this community will be one of the first to actually have their ears to the ground and hear about the game. It's Avatar, a game that nobody is actually talking about right now anyways. But, I would love for Massive to come out on top. As crazy as it sounds, I really enjoy the studio. I love what they've done with the Division franchise 1. But so far, the Division franchise 2, it seems like there are a lot of hiccups on the road. And I would love to see them come out on top because honestly, I don't like playing Destiny. The game just doesn't fit me. And a lot of the other games out there, they just don't, suit my play style. And the adoption and the enjoyment that I gain from playing the Division 2, I really would love for that to just be enhanced and for that to be better overall. So a trip down memory lane just helped me to see how much Massive is capable of and how much they are capable of actually doing and how well they are capable of serving their community. And I guess the big question that leaves me and the big question that I left New York with just after playing some of the content from the Division 1 was, are they going to make the right decision? Are they going to take the right step? And I hope that they do. And a lot of us hope that they do. It's not like we're coming here trying to bash on anyone. We're trying to highlight the strengths and the good aspects of this whole Division entity. And we would love to see these strengths play themselves out. I personally would. I speak for myself. And I know from the comments and from the interaction with the community, we would love to see better days ahead for the Division 2. That's all I have for today. Thank you very much for your time and audience, for engaging the content. In the comment section, let's just keep the discussion open. Let me hear what you guys think about all of this right now, because as much as it would be easy to just abandon the game, I'm of the mind that because the game has so much potential, there is always still hope. As long as the right decisions are made, I feel like there is still hope to revive this game and make it even stronger than it was than it is currently, and stronger than we ever even thought that it could ever be. That's it for me, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.